to call this Finance Committee meeting to order on September 16th, 2025 at the Germantown High School PAC. And it's 5:50 p.m. Item 2, roll call. Tom Barney.
Here.
Eric Brown.
Here.
And I am Michael Loth, and I am here. Item number 3, agenda revisions and approval.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Tom Barney and second by Eric Brown. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Item 4, approved minutes. Approval of the August 19th, 2025 meeting minutes.
Motion to approve the August 19, 2025 meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay, motion by Eric Brown, second by Tom Barney. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Item 5, consent review and discuss. Item A, August and September vouchers. I know there's a few questions for Brittany. Brittany Altendorf, please.
We received a few questions regarding both months of vouchers. The first question was in regards to a check for $14,530 to Digicorp. The question was in regards to, is this a software renewal and what is the software for? The answer is yes, this is a renewal. This is a product that we have used in the past. Digicorp is the backup software we have for our system, so it's used in the technology department. So again, this is just the annual payment for that system.
Okay.
The next question we received was regarding 2 invoices that are totaling a total of $20,027.71 for both of the invoices together. The question was in regards to, is this a software renewal? What is it for? And did it come through the Finance Committee due to it is exceeding the $15,000 threshold? The answer is it is a software renewal. What is it for? It is our absent management platform. It houses all our absence and our substitute data. So it is used by the sites as well as the HR department. The difference with this is when we moved from Teachers on Call for our substitute vendor that provides substitutes to us to EduStaff, Teachers on Call housed the information and paid for the use of Frontline. When we moved from that company to another company, we had to transfer all our stuff into Frontline. So now the district owns Frontline because we pay the invoice, but then EduStaff is now paying us back. So there is no expense to us, but it is our contract with Frontline, and it is our data now,
Okay.
instead of it being owned by the substitute company.
Okay. Should this have come to us for approval, or?
I don't know if it would, I mean, it isn't a new software, and it
Okay.
isn't a new expense, so I think that's the direction we were looking at, that it wasn't over the $15,000 threshold due to we weren't actually spending money. We just had to have the actual payment because then we own the data. It's always been our data, but we own the data now instead of before the vendor owned our data and we didn't necessarily have access to it. So we had to recreate the whole new system. So it took the HR department a lot of work to be able to input all our data that we should have owned previously when we were with a different company.
Okay, very good. All right, sounds good, thank you.
The next question was regarding a reoccurring cost for $2,885 to James Imaging Systems. The question was regarding the copy machine. Will the purchase that we recently made a purchase of 2 copy machines, and the question was in regards to, with those purchases, will any of our leases go away, basically. One of the machines that we replaced, the lease was up, so we haven't been paying that lease for 2 to 3 years. The machine needed to be replaced, so purchasing it, so it won't a lease won't reduce because it didn't exist for 3 years. And then the next machine that we recently bought replaced a smaller machine, and that one is on lease and is currently on lease for another year, and then that one will fall off. So we are using it somewhere else throughout the district for that 1 year, and then that one will go off.
We'll still have the machine when it goes off?
We will still
in a
have
year?
the machine, the small
Okay. Okay.
machine, yes.
Very good. Just wanted to check on that.
And then I received one other question, and Mr. Miziak might be able to help me with this, but I believe it was in regards to the Myers Psychology and AP course. The board approved in August 2024 for the purchase of this curriculum or textbooks in the amount of $24,356.96. The voucher was that we purchased additional books, and it was due to an increase in enrollment of approximately 15 students. If there's additional information regarding that, Mr. Miziak could answer that.
I think that answers my question. Just wondering, I think the motion from a year ago was for, I think the estimate was 144 was the average number of students, and we were buying somewhere around that. I guess maybe this is a little picky, but our motion a year ago was the purchase shall not exceed a certain amount. And now we've exceeded it, so I'm wondering if this purchase should have come back to the board for approval, since the board motion was buying those books shall not have exceeded 24,000.
Okay, so I'm not gonna answer for him, but, I believe the initial purchase, I think he'll always need to purchase more books, so I don't know if the motion should come back to adjust a motion from a year ago, I believe, and he can speak to this.
Yeah, it's the first time I remember that we've had a purchase, a shall not exceed purchase, and then
It exceeded
it
a year
exceeded
later.
it later. Not a huge deal, I understand, we have to have the books for the, the class that we're offering. And like I said, it sounds a little picky, and it is, but just going back to the shall not exceed motion that the board had a year ago.
Right, so then moving forward, because I'm going to assume in the future he will need additional books, would you like us to bring the additional books every year?
I don't know that that's necessary.
Okay.
Maybe just a call out,
Okay.
so we know that, hey, you said it was only gonna cost this much, but now we're going over that.
And I don't know if they're workbooks, I don't know if they're, I don't know the detail of the books that were purchased.
The books that were purchased.
Yeah.
The books that were purchased, those, the way that I did it, I took a 5-year look back and looked at the maximum enrollment of that class. So that was the original purchase. And then this year we had an increase of enrollment that was greater than the previous 5 years. So that's why we adjusted that purchase. I don't know if it's possible for us to just adjust the way in which I write my motions for those textbook purchases to state, I always have a clear dollar value from the company, so I know what I'm gonna spend in that one given purchase, so I can bring that purchase to the board with a motion that says for a, consideration of this dollar amount, and then going forward, so long as it doesn't exceed $15,000, I could go from there.
Mr. Ewart,
Yeah, I would seriously consider taking a look at how we word that motion, if it's that or something along the lines of per student enrolled, because we know the per student cost. Something along those lines. I would actually disagree with Mr. Barney if this board passes a motion to shall not exceed X dollar amount. That does need to be brought to our attention in a timely manner. It can't just be end around.
just so I'm not confused, did the original book order go through about a year ago?
Yeah, the original order was placed last year for last year's enrollment, and then the increase in enrollment caused the additional books to be purchased.
But the, 15 books wasn't that large of a sum of money, right? And it was separate from last year?
Correct.
Correct.
So that additional purchase didn't exceed $15,000.
Right.
So that was
right.
my assumption to not bring it back to the board, however. going forward, I'll change how that motion is written.
I think we're good on this. I know what you're saying, Tom, it might be a little bit picky. I think we're okay.
Right, into the comments, maybe just it's X amount of purchase now, and it's so much per additional student, over that, just so the board's aware of what we're approving.
Yeah, I'm not asking to impede the operations of the district and/or restrict access to critical materials for the students, but let's acknowledge the board motion for what it is and take corrective actions at that time. In this scenario, it does sound like a secondary purchase that did exceed 14,000, so if you want to look at it that way, but it's a slippery slope of starting to dissect financial decisions in that manner, right? So just from a cautionary standpoint, if we can have a little quicker action on the notification of the board, that could have been an email or simply, hey, next time around, we'll look at this for a different wording of motion. We'll look at it as a secondary expense. That's all I'm asking on that.
I think, this didn't exceed 15,000.
No, it was 2,500.
Yeah, I think we're good. And I think it's always gonna happen where, we know that some students might completely, trash a book and it's gotta be disposed of, right? We need replacements. So, we don't need every replacement, coming back to the finance committee.
So
I agree.
I think moving forward, we'll adjust the motion, and then if it needs to be, if we need to buy additional materials, it can be an email or brought to teaching and learning, and wouldn't have to come through finance.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
think
exceed
we're good on it.
Yeah, I'll continue. I understand how we're gonna get around to the thought process that we're okay on it, but, and the reality is, have, either that or the committee has to have a better motion moving forward for it. Fully understand it, but I can look at the, but what if scenarios that this could extrapolate to, and all sorts of things could get purchased under that thought process.
All right, thank you. I don't have anything further on this one.
Those were the only questions I received.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Make a motion to approve the consent to payment vouchers as presented and reviewed.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Tom Barney, second by Eric Brown. Any discussion? I see none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. Okay, item 7A, five-year capital improvement plan. This is Frank Lord. I think we just discussed it in building and grounds. I think we covered everything. I don't know that there's much more to discuss here unless someone in finance wants to discuss, or anyone else on the board. I can't think of anything else to talk about. I appreciate the checking into the solid wall construction versus concrete block. Mr. Tracy Powlick.
Yep, just wanted to mention, that you should be grateful that Buildings and Grounds made your Finance Committee meeting a little bit shorter.
Say that again, I couldn't hear you. Oh, if I didn't talk about all that stuff, it would have been a shorter meeting? Oh, okay, got it. Sometimes it's hard to hear from one end of the table to the other. Okay, I'll take a motion.
Motion with a positive recommendation to the full Board of Education to approve the 5-year capital improvement plan as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Tom Barney, second by Eric Brown to approve the 5-year plan. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. And we have one more motion, item 8.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Tom Barney with the motion, Eric Brown with the second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries, and we are adjourned at 6:05 PM.